So the source material for today is a resource called Hometown Conversation for Beginner English Learners. Now, before you tune out, because you already speak English, just hang on a second.
Yeah, this isn't about the English content.
Not at all. We are analyzing the methodology, the how, not the what.
Right. Our goal is to unpack the specific structure, the very strict limits they put on the material, and ask, how do they build that learner confidence so fast?
What makes this approach, which seems so simple on the surface, such a powerful path to, well, immediate and usable competence?
We're really framing this as a blueprint for efficient knowledge transfer, something perfect for anyone, really, who's trying to master a new domain without that paralyzing fear of information overload.
Okay, let's unpack this right now then. Let's start with the context, the stage setting.
Mm-hmm.
The first big decision this resource makes is the topic, your hometown. Why that? I mean, why is that such a strong foundational choice? Why not something like, I don't know, a beginner's guide to historical macroeconomics?
Well, the strength is it's really twofold. It's about immediate applicability and having a very low emotional barrier.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. When you meet someone new in any language, one of the first things you ask is where they're from. It's a nearly universal social opening.
So the conversation is deliberately set up to model that exact moment, meeting someone for the very first time.
Precisely. It's a casual social interaction. They're targeting what's known as a high frequency
High
interaction.
frequency and low stakes. It's something the learner is basically guaranteed to encounter again and again.
Exactly. So by guiding the beginner through mastering this one single critical social exchange, they gain something they can use right away, real world applicability.
You're not learning abstract concepts that might be useful someday. You're learning how to complete a social task today.
Right. And that pedagogical power is just enormous. It ensures the knowledge has immediate relevance. It isn't just stored somewhere in your brain.
It's immediately used, which we know is the strongest driver for retention. It also gives the learner an immediate win. It's like, in project management terms, they've built the minimum viable product for a social conversation.
That's a great way to put it. And the goal itself is so clearly defined, it's rigorously contained. The primary goal is just to teach learners how to describe places using some basic vocabulary and a few simple adjectives.
They're not aiming for the whole language.
Not at all, just communication competence in one critical introductory scenario.
Let's talk about that containment, because this is where it gets really, really interesting for me.
Mhm.
If the goal is immediate competence, what vocabulary are they, ruthlessly prioritizing?
Mhm.
I think we can learn a lot about efficiency by looking at what they left out.
Oh, they are masters of efficiency. They introduce these very common place-related nouns that are essential for the topic, but they keep the list painfully short.
How short?
We're talking city, town, village, park, market, and school. That's it. And they're all concrete nouns, things you can easily visualize, which helps with memory.
Wow, 6 words. And you
Yeah.
can't describe a whole lot with just 6 nouns.
Right.
So description needs adjectives. What specific set of adjectives do they layer on top of that to maximize the impact?
Again, they focus on simple, high-impact descriptive words. The source details exactly 6 adjectives: big, small, quiet, busy, beautiful, and friendly.
Okay, let's stop there. 6 nouns, 6 adjectives. Now, let's try to abstract this for someone listening who's maybe tackling a dense technical manual. Isn't this ruthlessly efficient approach, I don't know, dangerously limiting?
How so?
Well, if I only know those 6 adjectives, I risk sounding childlike or just, reductive.
Hmm.
How does this blueprint account for scaling up the complexity later when all I've learned is simplicity?
That's the critical challenge, right? The beginner's blueprint. But I think the answer really lies in utility. These 12 words, 6 nouns, 6 adjectives, they represent the minimum viable jargon for this topic.
Minimum viable jargon. I like that.
They aren't trying to achieve eloquence, they're trying to achieve functionality. Just think of the descriptive power those 6 adjectives give you. You can convey the atmosphere, the size, the personality of almost any location with just that list.
That is a key insight for mastering any new field. If you're starting out in, say, data analysis, you don't need 100 different metrics on day one.
Yeah.
You need the 6 adjectives of data: magnitude, density, rate of change, correlation, variance, and anomaly. You master those 6 concepts, and you can meaningfully discuss any data set, even if you can't, run a Monte Carlo simulation yet.
Exactly. It maximizes meaning while minimizing the cognitive load, and that efficiency extends directly into the grammar. The resource minimizes complexity by strictly focusing on short, clear sentences in the present simple tense.
Meaning the learner isn't wrestling with different time frames, passive voice, conditionals, any of that.
None of it.
They can just focus purely on the communicative delivery of concrete information.
By limiting that grammatical frame, they lower the cognitive load dramatically. It ensures the beginner can achieve success and achieve it rapidly. It's like designing a data dashboard that only uses basic line graphs and bar charts at first.
Right, you sacrifice some complexity.
But you guarantee the user can interpret the information and achieve their goal, which is just understanding the trend, without getting lost in a bunch of menus or advanced features.
And that immediate success fuels confidence.
It's everything.
That's a fantastic parallel. Okay, so let's drill down into the actual mechanics of the conversation. You need more than just words and grammar. You need the actual conversational patterns.
Back and forth, yeah.
What are the key questions and answers that form the foundation of this conversation module?
Well, the foundational exchange involves two incredibly common questions. First, where are you from? And second, what is your hometown like?
Okay, the basics.
The absolute basics. By dedicating practice to just those two questions, the learner is prepared for the standard social opening in English, or, the standard exploratory phase of any project, really.
And the answers they provide are, well, they're brilliant because they offer structural variation, even while staying simple. They give the listener these useful sentence patterns to just plug their new vocabulary into.
Right, so they're immediately teaching multiple foundational sentence patterns. We see two crucial grammatical structures established almost effortlessly in the practice exchanges.
Which are?
First, a simple adjective description using the verb to be. My hometown is small. And second, the concept of existence and location. There are many parks.
That structural pairing is genius. I mean, in one short module tied to one simple topic, the learner masters description and basic structures for confirming existence. It is quiet versus there's a river.
It's a huge return on investment.
Yeah. It teaches the learner to process and categorize information at the same time.
And think about that in the context of, say, learning to code. It's the difference between mastering the if-then statement and the for loop.
Two fundamental structures.
Two fundamental structures that let you describe conditions and iterate processes. You master those two simple things, and you can write functional code immediately.
And crucially, the way it's taught, the instructional delivery, is designed for retention. The source material notes that the speakers talk very slowly.
Respecting the processing time.
Right, the processing time you need when you're operating in a new language or, frankly, navigating any complex new field.
Rushing complex information is just the fastest way to trigger that beginner anxiety and discourage learning. And beyond the speed, there's this immediate, deliberate reinforcement built right in. The hosts repeat key phrases, they explain meanings directly in the conversation.
But the real core mechanic for skill transfer is the explicit instruction for active practice.
Yes, this is the moment of truth. Learners are literally told to pause the audio and repeat the sentences to practice speaking.
So it's not passive listening.
It's mandatory active rehearsal.
This is where the knowledge moves from, passive memory recognition to an actual functional skill.
What linguists call motor output, yeah. By forcing that active repetition, the learner builds muscle memory for communication. The goal isn't just to understand the conversation. The goal is to be able to reproduce the conversation flawlessly on demand.
So it's the learning equivalent of doing 10 perfect push-ups instead of trying to do 50 sloppy ones. You build precision and capacity through deliberate, targeted action.
That's a perfect analogy.
So if you're reading a dense research paper, it means pausing to summarize each paragraph out loud, or actively sketching a diagram of the process flow instead of just passively highlighting text.
That linkage is exactly why this blueprint is so powerful. It ensures that the learner isn't just consuming information, but actively converting it into an immediately deployable skill.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. Let's synthesize this. What does this combination of simple inputs, focused vocabulary, limited grammar, and active practice actually mean for the learner? How does it deliver the payoff?
It delivers an immediate psychological transformation. This whole structure is a powerful shortcut. It leverages high utility inputs, simple grammar, common words, high frequency social scenario to deliver immediate conversational competence.
It's a way of being well-informed about a specific topic without being overloaded by the entire English dictionary or all the possible ways a conversation could go.
Exactly. It addresses the core anxiety of the beginner, which is the fear of not being able to participate, socially or professionally. By giving them a proven, flexible script that covers the main exchange, they overcome that initial barrier of ambiguity.
The confidence isn't arbitrary.
No, it's earned through successful repetition.
That's the key. The confidence is rooted in guaranteed success within a very narrow but very high-value domain. They aren't worried about complex hypotheticals. They know they can successfully answer the two most common introductory questions and describe their home with their 6 nouns and 6 adjectives.
And the source material ties that relevance directly back to real-life applications. The ultimate singular goal is helping the listener feel comfortable talking about their hometown when meeting new people, making friends, or introducing themselves.
It's training for the moment of impact.
Exactly. And by focusing on that single practical outcome, the approach ensures they start speaking with confidence right away. They leave a session knowing they can successfully navigate a huge portion of an introductory social interaction.
And that immediate win is just so crucial for motivating you to keep learning, whether it's more vocabulary or, multivariate analysis. You need that first successful output.
You have to have it.
That is an incredibly clear blueprint. I think we've really extracted the key elements here. Effective learning, whether for a language or a complex technical field, relies on a clear, focused structure, high-frequency vocabulary, your minimum viable jargon, and dedicated active practice of core exchanges. It's about building a stable foundation, not trying to construct some shaky skyscraper of jargon on day one.
And that leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to consider based on this source material. This method focuses entirely on simplicity, structure, and repetition to ensure comfort and confidence in an introductory setting.
Right. The goal is successful communication in a low-stakes environment.
So how often do we, when we're teaching or learning complex subjects, how often do we overlook these basic building blocks? Can this slow and clear approach, which prioritizes comfort and confidence over the sheer volume of content, can it apply just as well to mastering dense research material?
Maybe we all need to be more disciplined about pausing the audio and repeating the sentences.
Perfecting the basics no matter how advanced the subject is. So think about it. What are your 6 essential adjectives for the complex field you're tackling right now?